Okay, so you're here because you started the ITSC 2402 assignment that is the first one for this class. Specifically, I'm talking to the 2021 summer class that is currently taking ITSC 2402 Intermediate Web Programming. I'm going to go to my assignments, lessons and assignments, and you're watching this inside of Unit 1, Intro to JavaScript. I'm going to click on that and come below where you are stuck right now. And you're not necessarily stuck, but you just should be here watching this video. You're going to create a GitHub account, but probably you already have one. If you already have one and it says you may use it for this class, this is what that means. You're not going to be able to use it the same way as you did before. There's something a little bit different. And this is to avoid problems, also to save your old work, and so that it doesn't get damaged. So Git is a version control system. That's all important. GitHub is a company that provides hosting, etc. Go ahead and read that, please, and absorb that. My profile URL is this one. If you want to go look at what repositories I have, that's fine. What we're going to be talking about, you're not going to be able to use your GitHub account the same way that you did before. Remember, if you've taken my class, you've heard me say username.github.io plenty of times. That's not going to happen this time around. We're going to create a new website for you inside your old repository. So this is very important that you go and create a new repository for this class exclusively. I'm going to click on plus to open up a new tab. And actually, rather than that, I'm going to go to another browser, which is just another window. And I'm already signed in here to my GitHub account. I have my idtprof, and I'm going to sign out because I don't necessarily want to use that one. I want to use a personal one. Just like you have one that works for you. I have one. idtprof is my work. That's the one where I keep all my school stuff. I'm going to type in my username, which is paco.org, and sign in. And it's going to ask me to verify that. I'll save the password and give me a second. I'm going to pause while I go and check to see what the code is. Okay, I got the code in my phone and it's 112690. If yours since your code, it'll be something different. So I'm in and it shows me a little bit of history of what I've been doing with my pages. And specifically though, on the left, I have all these repositories. You should already have at least one repository for previous class. You may have a couple more. I'm not really sure. For sure, you're going to be creating a new one for the summer of 2021. So just to make sure that you're in the home page, you can click on the AutoCAD on the top left, and it'll show me the repositories on the left, and will give me other options as well. But I'm going to ignore the other options. I know that I want to look at the repositories because I'm going to create a new one. I click on the new icon there. It shows me that I'm the owner. The repository name is going to be Summer 21. And it's available. Description, I'm going to click, this is where my Summer 2021 ITSC 20, I just forgot what the class was. 2402. 2402 goes. You can put something similar. It's going to be public, and I want to add a README file just for kicks. I'm going to skip the license and tell it to create the repository. This will be set as main. Sorry, I went too fast there, but that's what that said. Make sure that you see what it said. It might be important. Then again, it might not be. So now I have a README file. Let's call it just says Summer 21. This is where my Summer 2021 ITSC 2402 goes. I should say work, but I can always go back and edit that, as you may already know. This is where my Summer 2021 ITSC 2402 work goes. And I'll skip down here, commit the changes, and moving on. So I have a new repository. I'm going to click on the AutoCAD again. This is what you see when you go to github.com. And I have my username /portal. That's another project. but now I have one called my username /summer21. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give me this link automatically on top because that's where I navigated to. I'm going to save this, and I'm just going to put it, I'm going to drag the icon, the lock, click and drag it and put it on my bookmarks here. You can also use Control-D or whatever method you use to save your bookmarks. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to right-click and say Edit, and I'll just say this is GitHub. GitHub SU21, Summer 21. So now I have GitHub SU21, so whenever I click on it, it'll take me to my GitHub page where all my files will be saved to. So whenever you're working in this class and it says go to your home, your username.github.io videos, this is the folder where you're going to be working with. This is going to be your home folder. Now, in order for it to appear as a web page, we're going to have to give it a little bit of special treatment. Since I'm already inside of this new repository, I'm going to click on the settings. That's this icon right here. And it gives me a whole bunch of options. I want to look at the menu on the left, scroll all the way almost to the bottom, and click on Pages. And it says GitHub Pages. It gives you some information about what it is. There's a link where you can read more about this if you want to. You should have already gone through this process, except you used your username.github.io maybe. But now we're going to create a new environment in the new repository. So the source, I'm going to click on None. So right now it's like it's just ignoring this. But it says, oh, there's a main branch, and that's what the message that I said might be important told us. So I'm going to click on main. And then it tells me that this is now my root. This is going to be the home folder. This is what username.github.io used to be. I'm going to save it, and it's going to give me a very important message. Your site is ready to be published at, and it gives me this address. I'm going to click on it. And it's going to take me to nowhere. It's still saving stuff, but it's showing me that in my old username.github.io, now there's a folder called Summer21, and that's where my stuff is going to be. I'm going to save this. Maybe yours is already giving you something, but mine is, I think that the problem is that I don't have anything to display, and that's fine. But now that I have this, I'm going to save it. I'm going to put it next to my GitHub SU21, and although it's giving me an error, it's not important because it's got the address that I want. I'm going to right click on that, edit that, and I'm going to call it ITSE2402. You can call it whatever you want as long as it makes sense to you. So this is my ITSE2402 page. Oh, and look, I was blabbing too fast, and it was still saving stuff. It might take 30 seconds to even a minute to save the file sometime, but now I have this new page. So I'll scroll back just to make my way to somewhere that's familiar. This is where my site is, and you can always look at this information in settings. It'll tell you where your GitHub pages are. I'm going to click on the AutoCAD again. It takes me back all the way to the repository, but since we are working with with GitHub, with the new repository for your ITSE 2402 class for the summer, remember that file that I asked you, or that bookmark? You can go there. This is where your files will go. This is now your home folder. So if I tell you I'm going to create a new folder, and it's going to be called Unit 01, and it's going to have a file called index, this is where that happens. I would actually say here, I'm going to add a file, create a new file, and it's going to be Unit 01, maybe it's week 01, I forget what the videos might say, / and then index.html. You don't have to do this because the assignments will tell you what to do. I'm just giving you a sample here. I'm going to have an H1 for header, say hello world, exclamation point, close the tag, scroll down, and commit the new file. It's in the main branch. And now I have inside of my new repository, if I go to the AutoCAD, or if I go to my folder, my bookmark up here, it'll take me straight there. then I know that I have the stuff that I've been creating, and now there's a unit 01 folder. Inside of there, there's an index.html that says hello world. When I open up a new tab, and it says, well, in my bookmarks, I have my ITSC 2402. If I click on it, it still shows me, hey, I have the summer 21 where my work goes. But then as we start to work in this class, there will be new folders. The one that I just created is called unit 01 / and there's my hello world message. And that's how that works. And this may be a little confusing. If it is, please send me an email, ask your questions. From here on out, remember that you're not publishing to username.github.io directly. You will be actually going into the Summer 21 folder that you created and then posting that into the appropriate folders. Just remember do not forget to go to the pages and create the new environment as I just showed you.